Michael, and can I just extend a welcome to the Mayo Self-Advocacy Group who are joining us in the public gallery. Fáilte, lads. Taoiseach, this time last year it was revealed that government spent €335,000 of taxpayers' money on a bike shed here in Leinster House. There was widespread public shock and anger. But of course, government waste didn't end there. We had €1.4 million for a security hut at government buildings, €500,000 to replace a wall at the headquarters of the WRC, nearly €300,000 paid to consultants to come up with an Irish name for GSOC, €77,000 to change the name of On Board Pleanála to Comisiún Pleanála, €70,000 for curtains at Dublin Castle. Just some examples. Millions wasted on the watch of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And then, of course, your investigation into the bike shed or shelter fiasco cost the public another €25,000. And yet nobody was ever held to account. And it's now clear that government learned absolutely no lessons. Because at the weekend, it emerged that the bike shed scandal Part 2 is on the cards. Astonishingly, government is allowing €100,000 of public money to be spent on a new bike shed at the National Maternity Hospital. Now, when I first heard this, I thought somebody was having me on. I actually thought it was a wind-up. But no, there it is on the government e-tenders website. Now, is this really the best use of taxpayers' money when there are so many demands on the health service, for example, where A&Es don't have enough chairs or trolleys, not to mind beds, and where you have people regularly sitting on the floor? Last year, you described paying out these outrageous sums of taxpayers' money for a bike shed as extortionate, ridiculous and inexcusable, and yet it's happening again. It's Bike Shed Groundhog Day. This is a slap in the face for hard-working families, hammered by a relentless cost of living crisis, households for whom every single euro counts, who now hear that your government continues to squander their hard-earned money. You throw away millions of public money, but at the same time, you'll remove energy credits from households in the budget. You do nothing to tackle the rip-off or take on companies that are gouging customers. You give the energy companies free rein to hike up electricity prices. You let the big supermarket chains off the hook for soaring food prices. And the insurance companies know they have nothing to fear from your government as they jack up premiums. So people are ripped off by private companies and ripped off by your government. Tá sé scanalach, go lithe chun rialtas den €100,000 a bheith caite bhóthain eile. Builliad sa pusa atá ann de cheolaí atá faoi bhrú ulmhór leis an costas marachtála. 1 year on, Taoiseach, a litany of waste later, and there is still no proper oversight, no improvements, no accountability in the spending of taxpayers' money. The incompetence of all of this is utterly staggering. €100,000, scandalous money on a bike shed. Again, this isn't just unacceptable, this is an insult to the public. So my question is simple, Taoiseach, and it is this. Do you believe that spending €100,000 on a bike shed represents value for the taxpayers' money?
Thank you, Deputy Taoiseach, to respond, please.
First of all, say, Deputy, on the overall scale of public expenditure, and the National Development Plan has been a very significant initiative by the government. Somewhat surprised that you're concentrating on, relatively speaking, areas that were covered last year in terms of spendings that shouldn't have happened, in terms of the OPW expenditure on a bike shed. But I do recall, I think it was members of the opposition sought the bike shed.
And they wanted a second one?
Lots of representations from all of you.
Labour.
And now you attack. You guys wanted. You wanted a bike shed. You wanted a bike shed. I didn't want any bike shed. Right. So And
Deputies, could you allow the answer?
a lot of working people,
On
a lot of
both
workers, by the
sides,
way,
please.
a lot of public servants, a lot of workers do want facilities in terms of cycling to work or active travel. Now, we're not responsible for the detailed...
Deputy, your leader
not-
has asked a question. Allow a response, please.
Yeah. Sorry?
Please, continue, Taoiseach,
I know, but
please.
there's so many leaders emerging in Sinn Féin
Well,
these
now,
days.
Taoiseach,
But obviously the presidential announcement that was meant to be never happened, so you should also take it easy and stand back. I think Deputy McDonald is here for quite some time yet, it seems, as leader of the party. But if I could say in terms of the issue, in terms of the detailed planning for a new national maternity hospital, which will be a very significant sum of money. Well, I'm not actually going to be deciding every single item of that. And if the National Transport Authority is allocating money to Hollis Street or to the maternity hospital in respect of active travel, that's an issue for National Transport Travel. But you can't be coming in here some days saying there's not enough money for active travel, there's not enough money for cycling, there's not enough money for this, and then come in the other day around the scrum and say, well, actually, there shouldn't be a bike shed here or a bike shed there. Now, I would be of the view that if particular facilities are being provided for workers in particular, or for people visiting any public institution for that matter, value for money should apply. And they shouldn't be costing outrageous sums of money, and it should be done modestly, and very simple structures should be put in place. And it shouldn't have to cost 100,000 to provide a bike shed. And again, I'm not into the detail of a bike shed in a national maternity hospital. I do want it built. There was a lot of messing went on here for a couple of years about getting that project off the ground, and delay is cost us far more than any bike shed will cost us in respect to that maternity hospital. And there was an inordinate delay in terms of getting that project off the ground. But some of you preferred to spend time talking about theocracy and the Vatican and everything else, rather than getting the project, the green light, much earlier and getting it through. But you'll never have any public accounts assessment of that, or the delays that can occur in this House, or the delays that can occur by politicians objecting to this, that and the other. You'll never do any value assessment for that, or value for money. You just go for a cheap headline. So it's time for the bike shed again. And Deputy McDonald raised him at a bike shed. This time it was 100,000. Last year it was 300,000. Too much last year. But go talk to the unions who, fund some of you. No.
Please.
Workers want facilities. Workers want facilities. These facilities are not for anybody in here, except the opposition to these did want the bike shed last year you wanted it last year, and you wanted a second one as well, right?
Please.
You wanted two bike sheds for here, and they wrote to the County Court looking for bike sheds. They didn't come in condemning the cost of it. But the maternity hospital, I presume it's for workers. I presume it's for workers to facilitate them if they're cycling to work. And I think, therefore, you need to be careful too. Are we saying workers shouldn't have facilities in an active travel context to reduce traffic congestion and to allow people to cycle to work?
Thank you.
No, we're saying that a bike shed should not cost 335,000 euros, nor should it cost 100 grand. How's that? That's what we're saying. And here's the issue. See, you may smirk if you wish, Taoiseach, but the reality is that your government's track record in terms of wastage of public money is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And your performance there, your attempt at smart alecky narrative is probably the reason why. Because you don't take it seriously. Because what's it to you at the end of the day? You're not struggling to meet your grocery bill. You're not struggling to make your rent or your mortgage. So in the bigger scheme of things, you can lean for national development plans and billions and billions and billions, which, by the way, you also squander. You see, you're bad at managing the small money, so you're even worse at managing the big money. That's how we end up with the most expensive hospital in the world when it comes to the children's hospital. So don't be smart with me. I have asked you a serious question and I want a substantive answer. Does the Taoiseach, the head of government, believe that 100,000 euros again on a bike shed is value for the hard-pressed taxpayer? Please answer that.
Please, Minister. Minister, please. Minister, have some decorum, please. Taoiseach to respond. Deputies, Deputy.
I think
please.
Minister, I can understand Minister Moran's annoyance, because the bottom line is your assertions. Your assertions through the chair. Your assertion. You talk to me about being smart aleck. Your assertions today were bogus, flawed, and not serious. No one's taking that kind of nonsense serious in terms of and you should take heed of what the Minister has said. Read the e-tender in itself. But we have spent, yes, billions on infrastructure. A lot of those projects that we've spent on have come in on target. Many, many schools, Edmund Rice College Dublin, Gael School Shoreship Clancy Limerick, Patrician Academy Mallow, all on budget. Walter Scott House, Forensic Science Ireland, in terms of its facilities. I could go on in terms of the various roads, Moycullen Bypass, Dunkettle Interchange, a fantastic engineering project came in budget on time. These are serious projects. These are serious projects. I've answered it. Go and read the e-tender itself. And also, I just make the point.
Thank you, Taoiseach.
Look, with the greatest of respect, in many
I would
ways,
ask,
I didn't say
please,
I think
we're sitting.
the next time, what I would say to Pierce, would you know what you do for us now? Would you go away and design a bike shop
Thank
for us?
you, Taoiseach.
And give us the cost now. And we'll take it away and we'll see what we do. For God's sake, cop yourself on. Cop yourself on.
Deputy Ivana Bacik.